It's Sunday. I don't understand
Oh,
what's going
what are
on.
we doing?
What's happening?
Why are we here on Sunday, November 12th?
This is weird. People aren't going to know what's happening. I don't understand.
No, the people that watch it during the week, they don't care if it's on Monday or not.
Well, that's a good point because it's
More
available all
views.
the time on all the streaming platforms.
Yes.
It is the EriDan Film Festival, episode 177 for November 12th. And I am getting over a cold or something.
Again.
I know. It's a rough life out there. Hey, but tonight,
Save today. Yes.
Classic. This is an epic evening. So no matter what day of the week it is, I feel like this is the night to join in and be part of the show. So if you didn't prepare, I think you can still join, because who doesn't love, or who doesn't at least remember 1989's Batman?
Everybody remembers it. To some people, Michael Keaton is their Batman. To some people, Adam West is their Batman. I don't think anybody has George Clooney as their Batman.
I don't know. We should find out who is your Batman. That could be one of our poll questions for this evening.
Yes, who is your Batman? Put it in the comments.
Yeah, I would say Michael Keaton is my Batman. I'll die on that hill.
He's my Beetlejuice too.
Oh wow. Yeah,
and my Johnny Dangerously, for that matter.
But is he your Mr. Mom? Is the real question.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, fair enough. All right.
Have they remade that yet?
No.
He's definitely my gung ho, and without a doubt, he is my Desperate Measures.
Are you Googling Michael Keaton movies? Is this what I'm watching here in your glasses?
No.
What?
Look, this, you can see the show in my glasses.
Okay, fair enough. All right, well, this is an easy thing to do. You go to EriDanLive.com. You can join in the conversation. We will be picking our last non-holiday movie of the year later tonight. So you want to be part of this, because, then everything goes crazy town.
Jimmy Kimmel is his Batman. Says David Gensel in the comments, who's about to be on the show.
Should we bring him in? I'd like an explanation on this comment.
I'm sorry, Dave. This conversation can serve no purpose anymore.
Oh, come on. He was good in Teen Titans Go to the Movies.
Oh, I have not seen that yet.
Oh, wow.
I
am not a DC guy for the most part, but I'd be tempted to pick that if my name comes up, because it is a surprisingly good movie.
You do have quite a few spots on the wheel, so who knows? This could be your night.
Will Arnett is my Batman.
Will Arnett.
I'm Lego Batman.
The thing with Will Arnett is he doesn't have to change his voice.
No. Speaking of voices and Batman voices, this was Adam's movie.
That's a very good point.
And Adam is with us tonight, live on the camera.
In the beginning, there was
There he is, the man, the myth, legend.
The beard.
I mean, I'm sure there are people who Christian Bale is their Batman, but I can't imagine anyone it's either Clooney or Kilmer.
Well, Timothy
only did one.
Who's this new guy? Who's the new
They only did one, and they weren't that good.
Christian Bale's second to me. It's Michael Keaton, Christian Bale, and Adam West. If we're doing movies, if we're not doing TV shows, then it's Michael
Adam
Keaton
West did the one movie.
Oh, that's not, you can't, that's like a super long episode, really.
Well, what about Ben Affleck? He's done a bunch of them.
He's decent. He's not as bad as
what about Robert Pattinson?
He's not.
You looked that up.
I did.
No, Affleck isn't horrible.
Affleck.
He's just stiff. There's no real character to him.
I almost said, speaking of stiff, but I didn't.
Oh.
Wow. Let's do that again.
Yeah. I like coming in by myself so I can see that.
I was going to say, keep Stacy out the house so you can get
the best Jimmy Kimmel Batman was when he walks in on Batman and Superman, and it's Ben Affleck and what's his name?
Henry Cavill.
Brandon Roush or whatever.
No, Harry Cavill.
Oh, Harry Cavill, yeah. Okay.
And then
Henry. Is it Henry or Harry?
Harry, whatever.
Some guy. HC.
then-
Can we just call him HC?
And then Jesse Eisenberg comes in as the Joker, and Jimmy Kimmel just keeps going, "Come on, you're Superman." He goes, "I can tell. I mean, you take a..." And then he says, "Can you take my picture?" And Ben Affleck holds the phone in front of his face. He goes, or like this. He goes, "Okay, smile." He goes, "Hey, wait, you're Batman."
That's really funny.
And he throws him out of the universe, and he lands on Mars, and Matt Damon rescues him. Very funny sketch.
I'll tell you, one of the funniest sketches, even if you don't like Jimmy Kimmel, I defy you to not find this sketch amusing. When they did, as a surprise for Kimmel, they actually made a live-action trailer of the comic book he drew as a kid, The Terrific 10.
Oh, yeah.
And it has all of these stars, Wanda Sykes, it has Matt Damon, it has John Hamm. It is absolutely hysterical.
Yes. It is an amazing, amazing thing. Now, let's talk about Batman 1989.
So long ago.
Do it.
I know.
89, Jack Nicholson, Michael Keaton, Kim Basinger, Robert Wool, Billy D. Williams. Oh my goodness, the list goes on and on and on. Directed by Tim Burton, screenplay by Sam Hamm and Warren Caron. $35 million budget, 412. No good with the numbers. $412 million worldwide. Critics 76, audience 84.
Jack
even having watched this last night, it's easy to forget that Billy D. Williams was even in it.
Yeah.
Greatly underused.
But what's amazing, Jack Nicholson insisted he would do it, but only with top billing and a percentage of gross and all merchandising.
And it made him a mint.
And he had to also he got to choose his own schedule. They shot around when he
got to approve the makeup. He had all kinds of stuff on this.
Yeah.
And if I remember correctly, I'd have to look back, but I think Billy D. Williams was supposed to be in the sequel as Two-Face, but they scrapped
He was.
it.
They had to buy out his contract because he had it in his contract that he'd appear in the sequel as Two-Face.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Brittany is here. She's putting her tiny human to sleep.
But I do remember the controversy when they announced Michael Keaton as Batman. It was it was just like dangling bait in a piranha pond. I mean, people were just rabidly. It's like, you got to be kidding me! This is insane! It's stupid! He's gonna make it funny! It's just gonna be awful! Yeah.
I remember that too.
He did a good job.
He did. He surprised everyone. I think people, because he had done almost solely comedic roles to this point, so people didn't know he had any range.
We had just done Beetlejuice with Tim Burton.
Oh yeah.
Right.
This is, I think, our fifth Tim Burton movie, isn't it?
We have done quite a few.
How many Michael Keaton movies have we done?
Not as many as we should have.
Well, we did Night Shift, right?
That is true.
And we did Johnny Dangerously.
Yeah.
And we've done this. And we did Beetlejuice, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we did Beetlejuice.
Yeah. So we've done quite a few.
At least 4.
But it's
Only
funny
there
how
were- There were a list we could look at.
I mean, this movie has so many people like at their peak, right?
That's true.
Like, I mean, like this movie is so 1989, right? Where it's like, you got Michael Keaton, where he still has a nice full head of hair. Kim
Didn't we
Basinger
all?
is doing well. Robert Wool actually is doing pretty well. And Jack Palance is still,
Alive.
Yeah.
still alive. He's still doing push-ups on the stage after City Slickers. And Prince. There's just so much that is the end of the 80s about this movie. But I mean, for me, this all still totally works. And I've been obsessed with that car since the beginning.
Well, we talked when we watched Iron Man about how if it hadn't been such a great movie, the entire MCU would have never been what it was.
Sure.
And this is certainly true with Batman too. I mean, because all you had to go before this was comic books, animated shows, and Adam West. Mm-hmm. And if they had not done as good a job, if Tim Burton had not done as good a job as he did, who knows what would have happened to Batman in the subsequent decades.
Sure.
for sure.
Yeah, I remember when we went to go watch this. A bunch of my friends didn't want to go because they were like saying, "Oh, it's supposed to be the Joker show," but I mean, he kind of did do a pretty big performance in it, but it was, it was really good. Afterwards, they were all like, "Wow, that was really great," you know. So.
Well, but ironically, one of the big criticisms that's being levied against Marvel right now is that, like the recent movies, like the Marvels, is that their villains suck. Is you can't get excited about a superhero movie when you don't have any. The villain doesn't have any impact.
Yeah.
Whereas the Joker is all over this movie, and appropriately so.
Although I will defend the Marvels. We'll talk about that later.
Well, it's funny how, like, just like in Superman, like the villain has he's the top billing over the actual hero of the movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So here, I found a website that shows 30 interesting facts about this movie. Goes back to all the way 1980 is when they started developing this movie after the success of Superman.
Wow.
Who was it? There was somebody. Was it Scorsese? Was it Spielberg? There was somebody, a big director, who was planning on making. Okay.
It was going to be Ivan Reitman, and it was going to be a comedy.
Oh my!
And Mel Gibson was the original choice to play Batman.
That would have been a different take.
Yeah. But after Clean and Sober, an early screen of Clean and Sober, when they saw Michael Keaton was able to play serious, they're like, "Oh,
no!" They were just like that. They went, "Oh."
They went, "Oh."
My favorite bit in the whole movie is after they discover that the Joker's killing people through cosmetics, the anchor's on TV with no makeup.
Oh, I know. That is such a good bit.
That was awesome.
Do you know that the "I'm Batman" line was not in the script?
Mm-hmm.
That was an ad-lib by Michael Keaton.
It was also his idea to hang upside down after his scene with Vicky.
It's true. Now, interestingly enough, did anybody notice that on the Amazon, if you watched it on Amazon Prime, which we did,
I did.
Yeah, it was a warning for nudity. And as far as I can tell, there's a painting on the wall at one point. The reason I think that they pulled that out.
Eric was looking everywhere for that nudity.
I'm like, wait.
I was frame by framing the whole movie. It was.
Come on, Alfred. Why isn't Alfred naked?
I didn't remember Alfred's nude scene. I was really surprised. So it's something. So you can watch it again, looking for that.
You mean you're gonna go look for Jax Nicholson? Yeah, I don't have my buttons here.
So did anyone?
Do we have to play an intro?
I don't know. Do I have to?
Yeah, you can't just pop in.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Madam Librarian.
Well, it's the library, not actually library.
Little Robert Preston.
Yep.
So did anyone?
Hello.
This was not anybody's first time, right?
I only remember parts of it, though. It's been a long time since I've seen it.
This might have been my 400th time.
It's been at least 10 years since I saw it for me.
Yeah, same day. Probably 20.
I watched it a few months ago, I think.
I did too.
So familiar. Like, there's no way it's been that long since I've watched it.
I was saying on the pre-show that I had hoped to watch Batman Returns. I just ran out of time because it's a surprisingly successful sequel, and it also, because it's the same director, same lead, it's a very logical follow-up.
True.
And I think it's almost as good as Batman is.
Mm-hmm. It is one of those rare sequels that works. I mean, you can argue whether it's better or worse, but it's certainly in the same ballpark.
Oh yeah, definitely. Did anyone else?
As far as I can tell, here's the reasons. If you're interested, this would be the only nudity I was.
There it is.
Oh, right before the fart dance. Okay.
Exactly. Right there you go. So there you go. There's your raunchy part of Batman.
1989 was a very Victorian era, you know.
13 rating. Just getting a PG rating.
So did it bother anyone that they changed the origin story of who killed Bruce Wayne's parents from, I don't remember who it was in the comics, the Joker? Like I didn't mind.
I mean, it's awfully convenient, but it was fine.
It ultimately isn't a major. The bottom line is his parents were killed by some goon, and that's really what forms Batman. It doesn't really matter who did it.
Yeah.
But why does Batman keep bats in cages in his cave? Anybody?
Because otherwise they'd get out.
Because Tim Burton.
Yeah. It's atmosphere.
In a cave, in a cage, in a cave.
I think he's trying. I think it's also a bit of an attempt to deliberately have a contrast between people who've only known Batman from the TV show to just sort of make a more complete. This is a darker, moodier, more deranged Batman.
More Prince-driven Batman.
Well, that's what Burton said. This was really a movie of two deranged people fighting each other.
Okay.
They had different derangements, but it's two deranged people.
Now, see, I didn't see that. I didn't see Batman as deranged. I saw Batman as when he was very dark, and then he was Michael Keaton. Like, mom. I was like, wow, I never noticed that the first time when I did see it. Yeah, I did not remember that he had
a lot of input apparently, and I mean it was entirely his idea to do his voice in a lower register because he felt Batman would be too easy to recognize as Bruce Wayne, so he was trying to come up with ways to make them a little more different.
And that became what every Batman after that.
Yep.
It gets lower and lower every time.
Except for Will Arnett, he didn't have to.
That's true.
That's true. Now, if you watch the screen rant that I posted of the pitch meeting, he points out, he goes, so he gets Vicky Vale to his house, gets her drunk. He doesn't drink anything. Then he sleeps with her. He goes, whoa, whoa, whoa. And then while she's passed out in bed, he hangs upside down. And he goes,
well, and then he drugs her and fishes the film out of her brassiere.
He does pour himself more wine. He does. When they're at the kitchen table, he pours himself more wine.
Yes, he did.
Oh my goodness! Look what Brittany just said.
Whoa!
Brittany,
what?
Have you seen it? You've not seen it.
Let's say.
Can you do the fart dance? Wow! So there are people that have not seen
there
his
you
back.
go. You see.
There were, excuse me.
Now the Flash movie that was just out doesn't have as much impact if you haven't seen this Batman before.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah, she's seen lots of other Batmans. It's never Michael Keaton's Batman.
So neither of the first two neither of the Tim Burton movies.
I didn't even realize Tim Burton had done this one. Now the second one makes sense to me that would be Tim Burton. That's the one I remember with
Danny DeVito.
Yeah.
Penguin.
That's the one I remember, and it's very dark. This one wasn't that dark.
No,
that was pretty dark.
But there's no blood. There's not like anybody who gets shot outside of the blood that's splattered on the paper.
Batman blew up an entire building full of people.
Yeah, but you don't see any blood. I'm just saying there's not. It could have easily been more, gruesome if they wanted to show like actual bullet holes and people bleeding out.
Well, I'm sure that was at least partly the studio wanting to keep this a good enough rating to bring in a wide audience range. You don't want this to be rated R.
Right.
Although I would watch a rated R version of this.
You want a Deadpool version of Batman?
I want a Deadpool version of Batman.
No.
I did say there are a few weird logical issues. They pointed the one out in the Screen Rant thing, which is, where did those goons come from that appeared in the tower, in the bell tower? They were just there all of a sudden.
Yeah, they're very fast. They have a portal set up.
I also think the Batwing, as cool as the Batwing looks, it's an extremely impractical aircraft for an urban environment. A helicopter makes a lot more sense.
It was it was the perfect vehicle for him to choose to take that night. Gather up all the balloons.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Well, the thing I liked in the Screen Rant was when he said, and then the Batwing goes up and he goes and takes an opportunity to do some branding.
Yeah. People are dying, but he pauses a minute for some branding. And I thought this isn't new to this movie, but I thought even as a fairly young, probably not as a little kid, but the bat signal really makes no sense. Because unless there's clouds in the sky, you don't see anything if you shine that bat signal into
Always cloudy in Gotham.
Yeah, that's true.
The sun never shines in Gotham, PA.
Another Gotham and Metropolis. They're both New York.
Right. Well,
And it is
might be Chicago. I don't know.
And I do completely agree with you, Eric. It is a great Batmobile. I would argue maybe the best Batmobile. I mean, I know people love the Tumbler, people love the original TV Batmobile for good reason, but this is a great Batmobile.
It is just unbelievably gorgeous. You know, the effect of the shields going on is not amazing. But,
yeah, that was good.
But I mean, look at that lovely little.
I like his afterthought. Be careful, as she's standing right on the edge of a giant precipice for no apparent reason. He just couldn't afford handrails after he built the Batcave.
Exactly. He's like, I'm not going to fall. Nobody else can be down here. So,
well, was the ADA law passed yet in '89?
I don't think so.
Well, it isn't a public venue. It doesn't matter.
Right.
Well, if he tries to sell it, though.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not grandfathered in. I mean, you got to have railings on all your decks.
And how about Alfred just sort of saying, I'm just going to tell Vicky who he is.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
That was so weird to me.
That was like one of the only two minor problems I had with the movie is like all of a sudden she's just like, hey, what's up? And I'm like, what? Like, even
women,
I don't know.
Women know.
Well, it's like
oh, you have a secret.
He's feeling down to the dumps, so let's bring his girlfriend down here and cheer him up. You know.
I thought that
Secret schmeecret. Come on down.
Yeah.
Totally.
Well, then she doesn't show up. Spoiler alert: she's not in the sequel, so it's like, okay, she knows he's Batman. So what would prevent her from going and running her mouth to everybody? You know,
he had to kill her.
Well, yeah, he had to kill her exactly.
Well, no,
she's in one of the cages in the Batcave.
She used one of those Men in Black lights on her.
Actually, they made her marry Alec Baldwin.
That's what Wade said too.
I think she was already married to him back then.
Yeah,
I think then. Like a year or so after this, my college roommate worked at Disney World, and they sent him out to pick her up at the airport and bring her in to Disney World. So he got to talk to her a little bit.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Who was that, Vinny?
Yeah, Vinny.
Nice.
And the Prince music, and I like Prince, and I actually don't dislike the songs, but they did not belong in the movie.
No.
It does just make it feel more like 1989.
Yeah,
exactly. It does indeed.
It did.
I don't mind. I don't know. I don't think the whole thing with him carrying the boombox in and the museum. Prince, it works for me. You know, it doesn't.
See, to me, it really felt like the movie studio going in. How can we get Prince fans on board with this?
Oh, absolutely. Well, it's so funny because that the Bat Dance song, played so much that when you watch the movie, it's like this movie is just all snippets from that song. Stop them.
And how about the hero shot at the end?
Oh yes, yeah, they weren't afraid to lean in.
Well, he's going to be a little late. He's too busy posing on top of a building.
So, I think 25 minutes past the hour.
Oh boy! All right.
Now we score this and let Adam give his. He goes first this time.
The EriDan rating bot 6000 is now activated.
Calculating.
Bah.
There he is. Oh no, I was going to ask real quick. Did anybody it wasn't like a major issue with me. I just kind of had a minor issue with the way that they killed the Joker off at the end. I was kind of like, it was kind of a crappy way to kill him off. I don't know.
Well, I did read that Burton didn't know how the movie was going to end until really late in the shoot. There's supposedly even as Nicholson's walking up with, climbing up the stairs in the church with Basinger, he turns around to Burton at one point and goes, "Why are we climbing these stairs?" Because they don't actually have that part of the script done yet.
Yeah,
wow.
It's kind of, I don't know.
Apparently the ending was inspired by Nicholson and somebody else. I don't remember who's seeing Phantom of the Opera in London.
Oh.
But the actual visual of him falling from the building is up there with the all-time. That's right up there with Harrison Ford from The Fugitive, and
well, at least his legs didn't bend the wrong way.
It's a very odd perspective of a fall. But
I did enjoy the laugh box at the end. That was cute.
But Adam, you picked this movie.
Yes. Well, I mean, I just picked it because we've been talking about watching it for so long. I was tired of everyone talking about. No, I'm kidding. No, it's a really good comic book adaptation movie. I mean, it's probably, even though it's from 1989, I'd say it's probably still, I don't know, top 5, top 10. It holds up pretty, it holds up really well still. And it's just a fun movie. I mean, the action's good in it. I mean, there's really not too much to complain about. There's like a few minor quibbles about, a few things, but other than that, I mean, it's, all, the casting was great. I mean, Jack Nicholson's like, I know some people say Heath Ledger's like the best Joker, but I mean, I still think Nicholson is, even though he's not really the, atypical, version of what you think the Joker would be. But outside of that, I mean, I'd watch it. If it's on TV, I'd watch it. But I mean, it's usually on streaming, so if I want to watch it, I can just watch it on streaming. So I give it a 95.
Nice.
Very exciting. All right, so we'll go over to Dave for his score.
Ooh. Yeah, it's a solid movie. It really is. And especially, like I said, when you're going back into the well and making Batman for the first time in years, this could have gone so many different ways. And I was among those, maybe not as vocal as some, but I was among those who was like, you got to be kidding me, when they announced Michael Keaton as being cast as Batman, because I had seen him in Mr. Mom, I had seen him in Gung Ho or whatever. I don't remember the exact order of his movies, but I had a vision of him as a comic actor, because that's almost all he had done, at least that we saw. I mean, I'm sure he, in drama school and like, he had done other things, but that's what he was known for. And he got it right. I mean, you can argue with some aspects of his performance, but that's just taste. That's just preference. I think he did a very good job, and he set a standard for what came after him. I mean, really probably wasn't until Christian Bale that there was anybody who was nearly as good, because Clooney and Kilmer were more or less throwaways, one-shots who barely were there, and they were in bad movies on top of that. So
taken away from Alicia Silverstone's Batgirl.
Oh my! Batman and Robin is such a bad movie. It is just, it is.
Up next week.
You talk about, we talked about Superman 1 and 2, and how you could argue 2 is as good or as better than the first movie, and I think that you could argue the same thing with Batman and Batman Returns. And then, just like Superman, the third and fourth movies are such turkeys. I mean, it just takes such a nosedive. And Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze. I mean, it is just, I am Mr. Freeze. It just doesn't work at all. And but anyway, this movie gets it right. Yeah, there's some things I don't like about it. Nothing major. The Prince music I could take or leave. There are a few of the smaller roles that I don't think do as well. The guy who plays the corrupt cop that confronts Jack, he's pretty stiff in the way he delivers his lines. He's really not that good. But, it's a small role. It doesn't bring it down that much. Some logical errors, like where do the goons come from and things like that. But nothing that really holds it down. It just holds up as a movie. And I also like the fact that it didn't overtly set up a sequel. I get so sick of movies that end the movie with "coming next." They set up some cliffhanger. Oh, yeah. And yes, I know there's some great movies that did it, like Back to the Future. But I just like the movie. This is a standalone movie. Yeah, there's sequels, but this movie stands on its own. You can watch it and never watch another Batman if you want to, and it's perfectly standalone, which I love. So it is a really good movie. I give it a 90.
90. All right, let's go over to Wade and Stacy.
Yeah, I too remember whenever this came out that a lot of people were criticizing it for Michael Keaton being Batman, and then Jack Nicholson still in the show. So, but after going and seeing it, everybody who maybe poo-pooed it all loved it, and it does hold up, and it's yeah, it's definitely an improvement over the TV series.
Totally different things.
And it, and the Prince music, I might not. It was just there then, but now listening to it, I kind of liked it myself. So, I'm going to go with a 92.
92. Now, Scott texted me his score, but he just popped in. So do we need to play an intro, or do we just bring him up and let him tell his score?
Bring him up, since you don't know how long his connection is going to last here.
Oh, that's true.
Here. Give you 8 seconds. That's all you get.
Okay, no intro. It's fine. I'm okay with that. Fine.
Scott's on the ferry.
At least he's on a ferry. At least it's not the later.
You look like you're about to film a scene in Jack Ryan.
Yeah, it could be worse.
Yeah,
I could be. We could have reviewed The Dark Knight, and then I'd be on the ferry. That would have been freaky. Yeah, I mean, come on. It's Batman 1989. Like, if people doubted how good a superhero movie could be with Superman like 13 years earlier, we get Batman 1989, and suddenly everyone's making gazillions of the dollars and wants more superhero stuff. So, I mean, you could say that this was the best superhero movie for the better part of 20 years until The Dark Knight came out. And even then, that had to like build off of what this movie gave us. And I mean,
Not Ben Affleck's Daredevil?
that's a close second. It's a very close second. I think you know, there's a blind. I don't want to turn a blind eye to it, but yeah, that is a good movie. Yeah, and I'm sure everyone's already talked about Jack. Everyone's talked about the production design, the effects, the atmosphere. I mean, it also set the foundation for the greatest animated cartoon of all time, Batman the Animated Series. So, yeah, no, I love this movie. It's not perfect, but I'll give it an 89 because, come on, it's Batman 89.
Very good.
That is a really good point Scott raises. The job they do of creating the atmosphere of Gotham City in this, they more or less carried over for pretty much all the movies that followed. That dark,
Yeah.
It's a town that never has daytime.
It's a little bleak.
All right.
All right. Now you skipped over Stacy. You got to go back.
Exactly.
I know. We got to go back to Stacy because I didn't know how long Scott would be.
Thank you, Stacey.
You're welcome,
'Cause
Scott.
when I see someone's on the ferry, the signal is usually horrible.
Okay.
And Stacy froze.
Oh, did I? Mm.
Oh, no, I froze. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Well, when Wade said that it was better than the TV show is a totally different animal. You can't compare them. That is campiness beyond belief, and it's amazing in its campiness. This, like I said, I don't remember a lot of the movie. I remember seeing Vicky Vale. I remember the characters. I remember seeing Jack Nicholson, but there was like a quarter of the movie that I'm like, huh? What? I don't even remember when I saw it or where, if I rented it. I have no idea. But Michael Keaton, I've always loved him. He's from here, but he's just funny. I just like him. So when, like Dave said, when people said that he was the next Batman, everybody went, okay. But I enjoyed him as Batman. And then, like I said earlier, then he's being goofball Michael Keaton Bruce Wayne. I just like that. I just like he's familiar. So I thought the movie was really well done. I'm not a big I wasn't some of the stuff you guys were talking about. I'm like, oh, I missed that part. Oh, I didn't see that. I didn't notice these things. So to me, the movie was pretty darn good. And Jack Nicholson he's really good in that role, and it's annoying. Yeah,
he just chews the scenery in that, doesn't he?
Something, yeah. And it's just, and that face. I'm like, and I kept staring at it, like, how'd they do that?
Wait till they get a load of.
I just kept what's stuck in there. This is how I felt that they had done it. I know that's not how they did it as a prosthetic, but it just looked like they shoved something in his mouth to make his face hilarious. So the thing I did not like about his character is when he kept trying to hide his Joker makeup under deep, dark cover up. I'm just like, oh, dude, you're taking lessons from the wrong girl.
Maybe it's Maybelline.
It was just too much. I'm going to give this movie a 91.
Wow.
All right.
One of my favorite makeup parts of this trilogy, too, Stacy, is that in Batman Returns, where he takes the mask off, you can see they didn't give him any eyeshadow because they didn't want him to have eyeshadow on when his mask was torn off. Just for a split second, just disappears. So
the
funny.
eyeshadow is part of the mask somehow.
Yeah.
That's
hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, I was 19 when this came out. And obviously Michael Keaton, like we were saying, who's your Batman? I think Michael Keaton's my Batman.
Yeah.
I mean, although I think, like you said, Stacey, Adam West is a different type of Batman.
Yes.
I can never get the image of Adam West as Batman out of my brain. Doesn't mean that Keaton doesn't hold a place too, but I grew up with Adam West.
Yeah, same here. Growing up with it, you kind of that's what you base it on, you know.
Right.
So
well, that's the thing too, is that he's the best Bruce Wayne because you don't know he's Batman. That's why it makes him so convincing. Sorry,
and
Dan.
even though the show was campy, and even though the show was campy, Adam West played it straight.
Yes, he did.
He really did. He played the role straight, which is why it was so funny.
Yeah.
Yes. Before I give my score, Brittany says, I feel like a jerk, but I'm a rate this one lower than other Batmans I've watched. I think I'll give it an 80. She thinks.
She really means a 90.
It's not like 80 is really slamming it.
No. Yeah. Not my Batman.
Oh.
Sorry. My mom texted her score, and she said
you trounced it. No, I'm kidding. Go ahead.
I think
No
I remember
Fiddler.
Returns more than this one because she was probably thinking like Danny DeVito. Pretty good, so I give it a 91.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And then for my score, it's really well done, and like everybody has said, it does set the tone of all the future Batmans, including the fact that when Batman's got the cowl on, he lowers his voice, and the fact they got just such a star-studded cast in this one and Batman Returns. I mean, Michelle Pfeiffer was supposed to be Vicky Vale originally because she and Michael Keaton were dating in real life.
Well, that's why she wasn't. He thought it'd be very uncomfortable.
And then they brought her back afterwards.
Those costumes, absolutely.
I loved Kim Basinger as Vicky Vale. I thought she was amazing.
Yeah. I'm going to go with a 92.
92 from Dan. Nice.
I'm going to send it to Eric because unless anybody else in the comments wants to give a score, Eric is our final.
I guess I'm going last unless somebody else wants to throw out a number. Honestly, I love this movie. This movie to me still holds up.
45
is 45. Yeah. I find that because I think we all did sort of grow up with that Adam West Batman and it being so comedy, schlocky, tongue in cheek. At that point when like Dan and I were 19, to have such a grittier Batman was just fascinating, right?
Yeah.
Like it really was like, oh, I'm all in to see this.
Yeah.
And so I think what everybody has to say is true about it. I think it's such a great movie. I think it really holds up. Some of the effects show a little dating, but what my wife and I were commenting on when we were watching it today was how unlike modern superhero movies, you don't get a 45-minute fight scene at the end. The fight scenes are reasonably long, choreographed, but not like, oh, here's another 2 hours where you could go to the bathroom while there's the big, amazing CGI fight scene. So I really enjoy it. I love the movie. I think it's great. I'm going with a 93.
And actually, I didn't really find the effects to look dated at all. I mean, there were a couple of very brief ones, like when he's electrocuting the guy with the hand buzzer.
Right.
But it's not like Ghostbusters where there's scenes where you go, ooh.
Yeah. Well, and I think that the hand buzzer scene was very Tim Burton in my mind. I just thought that was it was a little like the old TV show. They had to bring some of that in, some of that.
Well, and then the Joker talking to the corpse afterward.
Yeah.
At least he didn't say buzz, pow.
Yeah. Oh, but that would have been funny.
I did think it was funny how he's got his right hand man Bob with him the whole movie, and then like out of the blue he's like, Bob, gun, and just shoots him.
Yeah.
I love that.
Well,
Nicholson said one of the reasons he loved playing this role was he's totally chaotic, unpredictable, and unhinged. There's nothing Nicholson could do in that role that someone could say, "Hey, that's out of character."
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
I looked up how much money he made.
Oh yeah.
So his normal salary back then was $10 million a picture. He accepted for only $6 million, but he got a percentage of earnings. He ended up making around $60 million, which adjusted for inflation is about $150 million today.
Wow.
Wow.
And there are times when Nicholson, he can be a little bit of a curmudgeon and not support stuff, but he threw himself into this role. He really did.
Look at that, a 90.
There you go, 90.33, coming right below Indiana Jones with the Raiders of the Lost Ark, and above Jojo Rabbit. It's in very good company up there.
Fletch gets locked out of column 1.
And that is true. So there we go. So nice choice on the bat.
Speaking of choices.
Oh.
You like that segue?
I like that segue. That wasn't half bad. We should probably pick a movie. I know
that video doesn't look dated at all.
No.
That's our original one, isn't it?
That is the original one. I like to go back every once in a while. Throwbacks. All right, here we go. Last non-holiday movie. I mean, I guess you could choose a holiday movie for next week if you want to. But officially, our last non-holiday movie for 2023 will be chosen by...
If I win, I refuse myself.
Technically, it shouldn't be on the wheel.
Hey!
Yeah.
That doesn't even seem possible.
Not suspicious at all.
No, I only had 3 spaces on the wheel.
Barely an inconvenience.
That's barely an inconvenience. So, all right. Well, I did not. I did not prepare. So I will.
Come on, Batman and Robin. Batman and Robin.
No, I know Batman and Robin. Let's just go for it.
No,
I'm not going to do that. I will. We'll talk about what else you've been watching.
You got something against Batman and Robin? I play a great Mr. Freeze.
Chill out.
Hey, Freeze.
Not an icicle.
What killed the dinosaurs? The icing.
Oh, that was weird.
Yeah, that was a little weird. Sorry about it.
Like I could see everybody, then they started getting muted, and then
I know, and the audio still worked. I have no idea what's going on. All right, so what else have you guys been watching? Well,
I'm going to go back to what I've been watching, and I don't know if anybody else has watched it. I've been watching Suits. I'm in season 4, and it streamed 13 billion minutes in I think August on Netflix, and the writers got 33 cents or something. But has anybody else watched it? Because none of this will make sense if nobody else. Okay, I recommend you watch it. There's some interesting things. Well, one thing I will say is, and this is on every show. How come when somebody gets fired or quits their job, everything always fits into one banker's box? I mean, sometimes they say we'll ship the rest of your stuff, but usually when they're doing the walk of shame, it's one banker's box. Oh, Scott just hit the middle of the Puget Sound. Nothing? Okay. That's all.
I got nothing. I don't know why.
None of us have ever been fired, Dan. We don't know what it's like.
Well, that's not.
And Cody says, "Well, will Eric choose? Where's Cody been?"
Yeah, I was wondering that.
I'm
wondering what Eric will choose too.
His girlfriend. We never hear from anymore.
He's with some woman much shorter than him. That's all we know.
Could have added a second person to the show, but instead he subtracted himself.
Man.
Did anyone see the new trailer for the Ghostbusters movie?
Yes. We
I
saw
don't know
it
what to think about
when
it.
we went to the movies.
It
Yeah,
looks
no,
like
neither.
it looks just like Afterlife, pretty much. Like it's gonna be, they're gonna have the OG Ghostbusters will be in it for like 3 minutes, and then that's it. So
Yeah. I'm not sure either.
She said, "Bring back Harold Ramis as a ghost."
I wasn't a fan of After. I didn't think Afterlife was that good. Yeah, they did. It was a joke. Yeah, I didn't like Afterlife too much. I didn't really enjoy it.
I haven't been watching much. Just been too busy with stuff.
We did go to see the Marvels.
I saw that as well, Eric. I saw that too.
We had a good time. We had a good time with it. I mean, it's got problems, you know. But I thought it's a fun movie.
I didn't like it. I think it's probably one of the worst Marvel movies they've come out with.
Worse than the Eternals?
I don't think anything's gonna ever be as bad as the Eternals was.
Well, no, but it's bottom tier for me. I mean, I don't.
Well, the box office agrees with you.
The whole thing, like Dave was saying with the villains, like the villain was like that, and I mean, it was just.
I don't know. I kind of appreciated the villain in this one.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it, so I'm only speaking secondhand from what I read online. But there were people saying that the villain was just boring.
And then the mid-credits scene confused me, but whatever. Did you see the mid-credits scene, Eric?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that was kind of confusing, but whatever.
Well, you know, I don't want to spoil anything too much, but
yeah.
Well, the negative review I read of it said, but it still isn't the worst Marvel movie this year. That would be Batman and the Wasp: Quantumania.
Batman and the Wasp? Well, that would be something.
Yeah, Batman and the Wasp. Yeah. Sorry, some creature in the Wasp.
I'm feeling about whatever movie I pick is going to make somebody unhappy.
Yeah.
Then who do you want to make unhappy?
I don't know. This is what I'm saying. I don't know.
No, we'll say if anybody watched Loki season 2, that ended very, very interesting.
Confusing.
Yeah.
That ending
That's
was
next to my list.
I think you should pick a musical rom-com starring Will Ferrell and see what Adam will give it.
Adam's head will explode, as will mine. I don't want to watch it. A musical rom-com with Will Ferrell. I don't know if there is one.
Well, there should be.
I don't know. I'm tempted to forfeit my opportunity here since I am so underprepared.
Remember we always say, Eric?
Who's that?
We
Be
say
prepared.
Always have something.
I know, but I just chose like a month ago.
So you had a month to pick a movie.
I have movies. Trust me, I have a list.
Well, I know the pirate movie's not available anywhere, so that's
it's not. It is.
See, what you should do is you should avoid controversy by picking Die Hard now. That way you're not picking it with the holiday movies.
Did we already do Die Hard?
No.
We have never done Die Hard.
Why did I watch it?
But currently,
I just watched it last year or the year before.
That was on your own.
For you, that's all.
I swear. Oh my God, I'm living in multiple universes.
Well,
Back and
a
forth.
few years ago, you had nothing better to do all day.
Yeah,
So
no, we have not watched Die Hard.
Brittany says they've been watching the Ninja Turtles from the 90s. And last night they watched the new Mutant Mayhem one. Absolutely wild for a PG movie, but it was really, really good.
Oh yeah, Mutant Mayhem was good. I took my kids to see that. We all three of us liked it.
That's the Seth Rogen one?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think he was.
It was good.
Reagan's got us watching Bob's Burgers a little bit. That's
That's a good one. That's funny. I like Bob's Burgers.
It's kind of funny.
I think we may have an episode we haven't watched yet, but we have been continuing with Welcome to Wrexham, and I did like the episode at the beginning of season 2 where they're telling Ryan Reynolds how much money he's lost so far. He goes, I think I'm going to throw up.
Yeah. We watch that every Wednesday.
It really is a good show. I love the way they switch between. They'll have episodes where it's all about soccer.
Yeah.
They'll have episodes where they barely mention soccer. It's all about some family and the impact on the town and the history of the town with the mining disaster. And it's just really a really great way they did it.
Yeah. I like it.
Have you kept it up, Eric?
No.
It fell by the wayside?
I did fall by the wayside, I admit. Actually, I don't know. Actually, I don't think we even started it.
No, I don't think you did.
I thought you said you started it.
No, he wanted
that was a lie. I was going
to.
And then it didn't happen. All right, I'm zeroing in here on a movie. I will have a choice soon here.
Ooh.
I know.
Now, this isn't movie related, but did anyone hear the new quote unquote last Beatles song ever that they came out with?
Please.
Yeah.
Just don't.
Yeah.
A song Lennon recorded 10 years after the Beatles broke up is somehow the last Beatles song. That makes no sense.
Right.
Well, no, it makes sense because they tried to do it back then. and they added George Harrison.
No, they tried to do it decades after Lennon died. Yes,
and then they tried it again with AI, and
Lennon had no part of this. It's a demo he recorded. He never meant it to be a Beatles song. It just makes no sense.
A Beatles song now. All right, I'm doing something terrible, and I'm excited about it.
I saw you.
I
saw you be excited.
I got excited. Hold on. Wait a minute.
It's a movie that has been discussed as being an amazing movie, but I have not seen before. And I know I'm taking the risk, but it's something that everybody I have ever heard talk about this movie, including Conan O'Brien. It's an amazing movie, and so I have not watched it.
I know you're going to ask. Paddington 2? Yes. As soon as you said Conan O'Brien loves this movie, I knew it had to be Paddington 2.
Did we do Paddington 1?
Yeah, there's.
So it is currently streaming on Max.
I think we own it. So.
Oh, there you go. I've seen Paddington 1.
Do we have a rule we can't do a sequel before we've done the original?
You have no rules. You make the rules.
To see this, I don't think you need to see. Everything I have heard has said you do not need to see.
And I would agree. I think it might be nice to see the first one first, but you definitely don't need to.
I've seen it.
Wow.
So there you go.
That excited over that?
Paddington 2 done.
I enjoy it. It's a good movie.
Is it a musical? Does it have music in it?
No, it is not a musical. It does have Hugh Grant, though, if that means anything.
Three of my other choices were musicals, and I was very nice not to choose a musical. Was that
Can't stop the music wasn't streaming anywhere?
Hamilton, Moulin Rouge, or Tick Tick Boom could have easily been the choice. So this is my compromise of Paddington 2.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, there you go.
Especially since I think that'll be a one that a fair number of people won't have seen, which is interesting.
Mm-hmm. Is it a short movie? Is it short?
I think it's under 2 hours.
Well, is it hour 30?
Let's see. It is an hour 43.
That's not bad.
No,
all right,
that's not bad. That's not
bad for a kids movie. That's doable.
There you go.
Yeah, I would argue it's not a kids movie. It's a kid-friendly movie, but it's not a kids movie.
And this is what I've heard.
Isn't there a talking bear?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Paddington.
See? Adam knows.
See?
Doesn't he eat porridge? He's like porridge, right? Or is that Winnie the Pooh?
Oh, that was actually I really do like the Christopher Robin movie. I could have picked that one.
No, I thought Paddington liked porridge or something. Or I don't remember. I watched the cartoon as a kid. They had a cartoon as a kid. I watched it.
Mm-hmm.
He wears a coat and a hat.
He wears a blue coat or something like that.
Yes.
So is this like a clean version of Ted?
No.
Pretty much.
No. It is nothing like Ted.
Wow. It's another talking bear.
But Sally Hawkins is great in it. Hugh Grant does a really nice job. It's a good movie.
I'm excited. There we go. I'm ripping off the Band-Aid. I've been wanting to watch this movie for like 3 years, and I keep pushing it off.
Well, it says it's on Prime, too, right now.
Huh?
So you're going to rewatch Paddington first, Eric?
I might.
I think it's worth watching, because I enjoyed the first movie, too.
The first movie. The first one didn't feel very much like a kid's movie, though.
Okay.
So I am curious, at least in my recollection, which has been quite some time.
It has been quite a while for me as well.
Yeah. So.
Because what year? This came out in, 2017.
Yes.
The second movie.
Really?
Yeah. Crazy, right?
I thought the first one came out then.
Huh?
I saw the first one a lot longer ago than I thought because I showed it at the library for movie night. So I thought that was recently.
So yes, this is also available on Freevee.
The first one came out in 2014.
God. Where has my life gone?
It's that COVID thing. I tell you, everybody has a 2 to 3 year gap in their time sense that throws everything off.
Okay, does anybody else find it odd that that Seinfeld went off the air 25 years ago?
Yes, because I remember it.
I remember the finale extremely well.
Yeah,
that was 25 years ago.
But you've also rewatched the finale like 8 times since then.
I've watched the show. Yes, I watched the show.
I love that show, and I hated that finale.
Yeah, I didn't like the finale either.
I like the finale now.
I mean, it makes sense, but
I'm not saying there was nothing good about it, but I just hated it. That good a series deserved an equally good send off, and it didn't get one.
Yeah.
No, they tried, but
they could have done a different way. But how else would you bring every character back like that?
Yeah.
Other than having one of them die, which they didn't want to do in case the show did come back.
Right.
You don't have to justify it. You just have to make it funny. It wasn't funny. That was the problem with the last episode. You took one of the greatest comedies of that era, and you wrote a final episode that wasn't funny.
There were lots of parts of it that were funny.
Name one. No, I'm kidding.
Like the whole airplane thing, where George admits that he cheated on the contest, and Elaine's about to tell Jerry, they're about to profess their love for each other, and then the plane cracks because the rumor was that they were all going to die on a plane crash. That's how they're going to do the finale.
Yeah,
that would have been funny.
Oh my god.
It's right up there with How I Met Your Mother in disappointing endings.
That went on too long. I never saw the ending.
It did go on too long, and I wasn't a big watcher of it. I had family members who were, but they were just the ending. Yeah. You can't top Newhart.
No.
6 Feet Under had a great ending.
Or Cheers. Cheers, he just turns off the lights. We're closed.
Yeah, you can have just a classy ending like that, too. Yeah.
We're closed. Go away.
Yep.
And I like the fact that the last line in the finale of Seinfeld was exactly the same as the first line of the pilot.
Yeah, see, that button makes no sense.
Yeah. So they buttoned it up right there.
See, there you go.
Why is there question marks behind Paddington 2?
Because I can't believe he picked it.
Oh, okay.
Really? You're shocked by this?
I am a little shocked by it.
Huh? Really?
Well, watch Paddington 1 first, and then watch Paddington 2.
No.
It'll be okay.
Dan's like,
I watched Paddington 2.
There the multiple people of well-known celebrityhood have pointed Paddington 2 as maybe being one of the best movies of all time.
I'm trying to remember who Conan O'Brien was talking to when they just started raving about Paddington 2.
I have a feeling it was a joke. And
No, it was not a joke. They were quite serious.
9% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Wow.
I mean, we're not horsing around here.
Let's see. The first movie is an hour 35 minutes.
All of our ads. Go back to
you could watch both movies and still not be much longer than one of the movies we've watched some of these weeks.
That's true. What did you want, Dan? Some of these
ad for the black leather pants down there. Yeah, why am I getting that all over the place too? And the shoes. How are we getting the same ads?
Yeah, I think that's just.
I'm not searching for black leather pants.
You're EriDan. You're 1B.
Oh, it's Temu. That's why it's that crap. Yeah, it's the new Wish.
Temu, cheap Chinese crap.
Remember when I bought all this stuff on Wish and we had a fun show about it?
I remember.
Yes, I do.
Back when we did our dollar store challenge.
Yeah,
that was fun. We've had a lot of fun shows.
Yeah.
So it says I just Googled it real quick. It says it was Ellie Kemper on an episode of Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend.
Yeah.
It was definitely an episode of Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend. I just didn't remember who it was.
We're talking about
Ellie Kemper.
Ellie Kemper was from The Office.
Yep.
Yes, and from Kimmy Schmidt.
Yeah. In The Office, there's news about The Office reboot that it's not going to be a reboot. It's going to be a spin-off.
No.
Oh.
With who? Who's the main character?
Who knows?
It's all Meredith.
Oh my god!
It's all Stanley all the time.
Dwight.
The Creed Show. It's the Creed.
Oh, it's Dwight.
It won't be Dwight.
Reagan says the Creed Show is just Dexter.
No, it just all takes place on a beet farm.
Oh,
nice.
Well, it better not be Jim and Pam. I don't want to see that.
No, I agree. Jim and Pam would be the least interesting. I'd much rather follow up on Dwight or Kevin or somebody like that.
yeah.
Yeah, it won't be. I don't think it'll be one of the main 4 or 5 characters.
I hope it's not Mindy.
It's Toby. It's all about Toby.
The Strangler.
It's called HR, and it's all about Toby.
Yeah. So you got 2 weeks to watch Frasier.
That's true. Yep.
About that.
Speaking of spin-offs of a secondary character,
got to get my Frasier episodes in.
Quit watching Crazy Ex-Girlfriend and put Frasier on next. Oh my gosh.
Oh, come on. You gotta finish. You gotta make it to the end of Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. We finished here. It was totally worth it.
Yeah, I just watched the Cats episode a couple.
Oh, it's so good.
It was so not good.
So good.
It was.
It was a whether you liked it or not. It was a great parody of Cats.
Yeah.
Well, that's
it
true.
Definitely was.
That I will give it that. My God, it was horrendous.
Well, all right.
All right, so I got to get some Frasier watching in.
Yes.
What a fantastic
Watch
show.
a couple of Paddingtons if you want. Paddington 2. Paddington 2.
Did anybody give us a list of Frasier episodes to watch?
Yes.
Scott posted a list.
Got posted.
There is a list out there somewhere.
Okay.
But you always have to watch the pilot and the finale, no matter what.
Yeah.
I'm not sure you have to watch the finale every time.
I don't know that we saw the finale of Frasier.
I know. I lost interest by then.
Yeah.
I'm trying to Christmas shop for 2 14-year-old twin boys, and that's a headache.
Wow.
What could I ask them? Hey, what do you guys want for Christmas? I don't know.
Box
Well, I
set.
don't know. They get an Amazon gift card.
Well, I told them I was like, make Amazon lists and send them to me. So they make Amazon lists, send them to me, and then they keep taking stuff off and adding stuff on there, and I'm like,
Give them a deadline. Say this is the last day you can do this.
And
Well, not only that, if they see, they'll see what they're getting because as soon as you buy it, it comes off the list, doesn't it?
I'm just saying.
Oh yeah, there's some gifts.
What small child does not want some EriDan Film Festival merch?
Is there anything new?
No.
Maybe for the new year. We'll have to see.
All right.
Very
Well,
busy.
there.
Industries has been very busy.
I just copied the list off of.
Not Clutch.
I just copied the Frasier list off of the old chat, so I have it in front of me. Yeah.
Yeah, we were going to be on this next Saturday, but Josh comes back in the morning. We'll be at the airport. So at some point while Rafi's home for Thanksgiving, we are going to do a Car Yada episode. It will not be Saturday at 10 a.m. We will let you know when it is.
Well,
It may or may not be a driving episode.
And you're going to need some Car Yada merch eventually. So,
Yes.
Car Yada, 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 of course.
And I will be buying at my comedy shows, the No Merch Tour, we will have hats and stickers available. I mean, shirts and stickers available. Because it is the No Merch Tour. And we want to be ironic.
Okay.
don't you think? Maybe a little too ironic.
Bring a shirt in my size.
We'll order some.
I'm not going to tell you what my size is on the air, but I can tell you off the air.
Well, how about that scene from Batman where he says, "You're a little heavier than 107."
Yeah.
What a charmer.
I know, right? Winter heart, right that way. All right. Well, we will see you back here next Monday.
Monday.
Talk about
Not the same bat time. Wait.
What?
Yes, the same bat time. Yes, the same bat place, but not the same bat day.
That's correct.
Correct.
All right.
All right. Good night.
In case I don't see ya, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.